Might wanna buckle up, baby.
Punch it, I'm Jacob, and welcome back to That's Just Crait, the show where we talk about everything Crait from a galaxy far, far away. We're missing Hunter today, but it's me, Jacob, Hannah, and Logan on the podcast today.
Hello.
So it's not an episode of the Hannah Logan show. It's the spin-off with me.
It's the Hannah and Logan show featuring Jacob.
Featuring Jacob.
I feel like I'm making a cameo. It's like whenever, like in an old show, like a celebrity shows up and like it's like, hey, watch where you're going, and they turn around, they're like, oh, I'm sorry, and the studio audience like claps.
Yeah,
that's how I feel right now. It's the same vibe. How's everybody been going? Doing? That's what I meant to say. Not even a minute in, and I get tongue-tied.
I'm very tired. It has been a very long weekend, and we'll get into that for a bit. But I'm hanging in there. Hashtag need that rest, I guess.
You've had a lot going on, though. Hannah, what about you?
Hannah, what about you?
To have an update on my situation that I talked about exactly a week ago from when we recorded last week's episode. Remember those bug bites I got?
Mm-hmm.
So the day after, I flew to Chicago to see Lady Gaga in concert, and I guess flying on the airplane irritated the little bit of swelling that I had from them, and it turned into a lot of swelling, and my entire leg from like my knee down blew up so bad that I had to go to urgent care in Chicago and get put on antibiotics because it gave me cellulitis.
Oh no.
So
Hannah,
I'm still taking antibiotics, and I've had to like wrap my leg every day, but my bug bites are gone.
I mean, hey, that's a plus.
So just to continue off of that, I figured the people would want to know.
People just got to know bug bite part 2,
Yeah.
Apparently, it's not a very good update. It's not the superior sequel that we all hope for. That would be if you were actually
a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. Yeah.
Or an unwelcome one, I guess, in this case.
Unwelcome one.
We have a lot to talk about today. Because I don't know if you guys saw, but a little trailer dropped today for a small independent film called The Mandalorian and Grogu. Which we've heard a lot about, and some people that we know have seen some footage from it at Star Wars Celebration in Japan a couple months ago. But as of today, the day that we're recording, Monday, the trailer has officially dropped, and it's a different trailer from the one at Celebration. So this trailer was pretty much a surprise for everybody. But a welcome one. I mean, I just can't. You can't say that and then not follow up. I wasn't going to, but it just kind of happened anyway.
I feel like I guess has to take over your somehow bit.
Yeah.
Like I'll take any other Palpatine bit at this point.
Listen. We're gonna get back to it. You can't let a good bit die like that, Logan.
No.
That's part of the bit.
You have to let the bit die. Kill it if you have to.
Speaking of bits, we got an HD look at a Jack Tut just for you, Logan.
Oh,
Logan, massive day for Jack Tut Nation.
Did that for me. God, initial thoughts on the trailer, everybody. Like, let's do like a little round robin for that before we get into details.
I like that they showed us a lot of fun like action sequences and gave us good peeks at everybody without giving the plot away, because I think that's a big problem with trailers lately is like they give the whole plot away and then you're not surprised when you watch the movie, and I want to go into a movie and be surprised, so I hope that they keep it that way.
I agree.
Yeah, I just want to know like the general vibe of the thing, because I feel like we don't know any information. Like I know that there's been like rumors about like things like Embo and stuff like that, but I just want to know like what they're doing, like what's their adventure that they're going on, But I'm very glad that we're getting just a lot of like, I mean, I saw somebody on Twitter calling it out. They're like, you can't make a movie about aura and hype moments, but I feel like it's the Mandalorian. Like you gotta like do some cool stuff for the trailer. You can't just give it all away. So I'm looking forward to knowing more plot details, but I'm very satisfied with the action that we're getting. We could go more into that when we talk about details of it, but action looks great, and I'm very excited.
I'll say this first, because it kind of piggybacks off of what you and Hannah both said, and it's a thought that I had kind of about the trailer. I think it's very interesting how secretive they've been about this movie. Nothing really leaked behind the scenes. You can say that's because of the volume, but like even with the volume, we've had like Marvel movies and stuff, and even shows have leaks with like sets on the volume. You know, like things have happened like that before. They've been like locked down on this, maybe more so than ever, like more than the sequel trilogy, which is kind of crazy to say. But I think that, like, you know, between the secrecy, the things we don't know, and we don't know the full plot, I would go as far to say that, and this is just speculation on my behalf, I think that everything in the trailer is pretty much just like the first act, and like the first action scene is going to be like the AT-ATs and stuff. And I think maybe going into like the second act, or maybe like a small little thing is probably like the Hut Gladiator Arena with Rada and like things like that in the trailer.
Yeah.
I think the big plot has yet to really be shown, and I'm really curious to know what that is. Which makes me more excited for the movie. Because I like the trailer a lot. But it raises so many questions, and I think that's something that a good trailer should do.
Yes, I was just about to say that.
I have a strong feeling that like the main plot is going to revolve around the fact that there's probably like a kidnapping going on. I don't know, like that's the vibe that I'm getting about. And I feel like Mando and Grogu are gonna have to go on this like wild adventure to recover the kidnapped son of Rada the Hutt.
Oh boy!
Can you imagine?
I think,
Full circle moment.
Dave Filoni's like, you know, I wanted to make the
Hutt's
movie again, but good.
Yeah. Like this will be like how Force Awakens is to A New Hope. This is gonna be like the Mandalorian and Grogu to the Clone Wars movie. So that's my thoughts. Is I think it's gonna be a. No, I'm kidding. I have no idea what the plot's gonna be, but I'm excited for it. Yeah.
I really have no idea. Hannah, what do you think the plot of the movie is? Do you have any thoughts?
I don't know, but I saw somebody making jokes about this on the timeline. I don't remember who it was exactly. It may have been several different people, but they were posting like side by sides of some action that we see with Din, and then Grogu running around with the little Babu Frick guys, and they were like Din beating up people, Grogu subplot. But I wonder if there like really is a Grogu subplot, and like they kind of split ways at one point, and Grogu is doing a completely different thing than Din is. I don't know.
You know,
I mean, anything could happen. Really.
I think that'd be a lot of fun.
It would be,
and not necessarily that they get like separated, but that they like there's some reason that happens.
They split up.
Probably. Yeah.
Like it's the same goal, but they're kind of doing two different things to achieve that same goal. I can see that. And I think that wouldn't be too far off. Honestly, from this movie, regardless of what the plot is, what I wanted before the trailer, and I don't know about you guys, but like I love season 1 of The Mandalorian. It's probably my favorite season of the show.
I would agree.
Because like look, it's great to have those cool connections and to bring in like characters like Bo-Katan and like people from the Clone Wars and Rebels and stuff. But like, man, I just loved whenever it was like the space cowboy and his green baby, you know?
Yes.
And like, I think that we're getting that again kind of with this movie. It just kind of feels like a pulpy, fun, Western inspired adventure, kind of like Solo, but I think The Mandalorian does it a little bit differently. And I mean that as a compliment, and I love Solo to death. You guys know that. So I'm really intrigued to see what they do. I think that if the movie is just kind of like a fun little adventure of them going to different corners of the galaxy, even the trailer had some like cool little like transitional moments, like with like the wipes and stuff in it. And I think that if they keep up those vibes, especially with like the poster that dropped, which I guess I'll put on screen now.
I thought this, but somebody else beat me to it. Gosh, I don't remember who, or else I would shout you out. So sorry. But whoever said the poster was giving Indiana Jones vibes, it absolutely is. And I also love that it is like hand drawn.
Part of what makes Star Wars special is that they are like hand drawn posters, you know, and like it just like it feels so nostalgic. Man, like I really like the trailer a lot. I've seen that it's a little bit divisive online, which I didn't expect it to be.
Dude, a lot of people are talking about it. Yeah, they're talking a lot about the look of it. They're saying it feels very like made for TV type of thing, which I can't can like understand that, but also like I feel like filmmaking in general, like I feel like if you look at Star Wars in a vacuum, we haven't had a movie since 2019, and I feel like every sort of post COVID has a very specific look to it. Whereas like the shadows are very light and stuff. Like I think about like I don't know, I go back to like Spider-Man like Far From Home or something like that, or like Black Widow, and a lot of like the Marvel movies. But I feel like a lot of movies just don't have a very I don't know. I feel like there's like a different era.
I would agree with
I don't
that.
think it's specific to The Mandalorian,
Yeah.
but it is something that I can agree with that it is just like a problem. But not to say that it doesn't look bad at all. Like I think that like
No.
what a lot of it is like indoor lighting scenes. Like for me, I think what stood out was like the hut, jacked hut, gladiator arena, with like
Yeah.
the monsters and stuff. I feel like it looked a little artificial, but it's like you look at the background and there's actual like spotlights that are lighting it. So of course it's gonna look a bit like different in terms of like the quality of it compared to like when they're in like the mountains and stuff like that. So I think it'll look fine in the future, but I can see people's concerns. But I think like the scenes like where they're flying around like the Razor Crest and stuff, and like where Zeb's in like the hallway like kicking butt. Like I think those scenes look good. So
can we talk about the Razor Crest being back?
oh my god, yes.
But now that raises the question: what happens to his Naboo fighter? Does he just keep
He
it?
probably still has it.
You
He gives it to
'Cause I also,
Grogu
like-
as like a 16-year-old birthday present.
Yeah, I
You
like
know?
that theory.
I mean,
That's a
that's
good
actually
one.
a quality. I like the yellow paint on it though. It looks cool.
Yeah, I think it
I do like
it
it
felt
too.
very like Y-wing-esque to me. Like that was the vibes that I was getting from it, like Gold Squadron. It'd be cool to see
Yes.
if like maybe I don't know. I feel like it's somehow connected to the like New Republic, and it might be a part of Gold Squadron if New
I was
Republic
about to
has Gold
say
Squadron.
that.
You're
Yeah.
not far
Because I know like
off.
a lot of people were
That's
theorizing that it's
a
actually
big
like Zeb's
possibility.
ship, because like we know that Din and Zeb are going to be working together. So a lot of people were saying that it might be like
True.
under Zeb's ownership.
I like that theory a lot
But
because
yeah,
that's
it
a
looks
great
good.
way of bringing it back without like making it like, oh, he just got the ship back. Well, actually, no,
Yeah.
he's flown these ships before, and maybe he's like psyched to see it again, but they're like, nah, man, like that's Zeb's. It
They're
belongs to,
like,
the
this is
New
a
Republic.
rental.
Well, like,
yeah, we need it back.
But
It's
I think
obviously
that, like,
not going to be the same exact ship, but just the
No.
fact
Right.
that there's another Razor Crest model is cool.
yeah. And I think
Yeah.
that eventually maybe that's like the end thing to where it's like, oh, in the end he gets his old ship back, and now he has like two ships that he can just use and interchange and things like that. I think that
Yeah.
that's probably more likely than anything else.
I was gonna say, did you notice that he has his Ambin phase rifle back?
I
That
did.
he has this like
That's interesting.
yeah. That's also interesting. I don't know. I feel iffy because like I want to like go back to like the vibes of like season 1 and 2, but at the same time I'm like like where his character went in like season 2, moving on and like letting go of things with like the cult basically, and like losing the ship and his rifle, and at the end of it Grogu, and then like all of a sudden like bringing everything back, and even more so now in like the movie. I don't know if it's good or bad, but I just think it's interesting that like they're kind of like almost resetting him to like a status quo.
But see, they kind of did that with Boba Fett though too. But they did it in a way that
That's
made
true.
Boba Fett even more interesting. I love Book
Yeah.
of Boba Fett. I know that series is controversial.
Me too.
I really like that series a lot.
I love
And part of
Book
the
of
reason
Boba Fett.
why,
Oh,
well,
yes,
you love
we
Drash,
know.
and that's Sophie Thatcher. If you're watching, Logan's your
My
biggest
DMs are
fan.
open. Yeah.
No, but like one cool thing that I think that show does extremely well is it recontextualizes the character of Boba Fett. It takes everything that we've known about Boba Fett, strips him of it, and whenever it gives it back to him, it has a different meaning, right? His armor, for example, he gets his armor back, but whenever he gets it back, he realizes that the armor doesn't constrict him to what his dad was, and also to the profession of bounty hunting and working with all of these terrible individuals like he did in the past. Now he's kind of wearing his armor to kind of keep the peace in Mos Espa. And he's wearing it kind of on his own conditional terms. It's not everything that came before it. It's kind of him reshaping it. And so I think that seeing the progress that we've had with Din, kind of like giving these things that he had back to him, especially now, to where he's kind of like gone through this process, especially in season 3 with like his relationship with like the other Mandalorians within like the subsect. I think it could make for a really interesting thing, especially more so for for people that have seen the show.
Mhm.
But I don't know. Again, it's all like speculatory by this point because we really just don't know.
I had been missing the vibes from
Yeah.
season 1 for a long time, so I do like
Yeah.
that you kind of get those vibes in the trailer.
Oh
And
yeah,
like the fact
I'm
that
right there
it's
with you.
very interesting to me, and I think I'm kind of okay with it. The fact that we haven't seen any other Mandalorians besides him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I feel like one of the personal qualms I had with season 3 was that I feel like it took a lot of the attention away from Din and his story
Yeah,
to
I
the
agree.
greater
Yeah.
Mandalorians as a whole.
I'm with
So
you.
I think it's nice that we're getting like a very Din centric story. So I think that'll be pretty cool to see.
So people are complaining about like the visual length, like the style of it, saying the movie looks flat and things like that. And look,
Hmm.
there's kind of it's kind of a double-edged sword for me a little bit because on one hand, it's very consistent with the visual style of the show, you know,
That is
which
true.
again looks
Yeah.
like all of these old serials and things like that. These old serials, you were never like, ah, man, that's so visually stunning. It's more so just kind of like the pulpy adventure of it, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that
Yeah.
that's what The Mandalorian does very well. I do see where people are coming from, though, complaining about it. Because I will admit that this kind of flat gray look that has plagued things for many years, like the MCU, in my opinion, it has kind of become more mainstream with a lot of other franchises. I think it's a lighting issue, though, above all else. It's not really
I agree.
cameras, it's not really the volume, it's the lighting.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes I see a little difference in like camera perspective, but not
Yeah.
necessarily the cameras themselves.
Yeah. It's a weird thing that happens, I think, where cameras are so advanced now, like the dynamic range where you're able to pick up so much information in like the light and the shadows and stuff to
Yeah.
where
Oh, yeah.
you're I feel like you need to prioritize the lighting rather than the amount of information that you're capturing because that's how it was back then. I feel like now they're able to light things a lot more like quote unquote like naturally.
Yeah.
And they're just like, okay, like if it comes out looking a certain way, like we could just, bring down the things in post and like do all this stuff. So I feel like they're doing a lot of, and this goes for like the industry as a whole basically. But it feels like you're not utilizing the light to emphasize the storytelling anymore.
I think that like the bottom line is that we really just haven't seen enough. Like I feel like I can't
Yeah.
comment on a film's visual style and language with just like a small like 2-minute trailer.
I felt the same way about Superman when those trailers first dropped.
Yes,
I
dude.
was about to mention
Like
that.
I was I don't know. I'm probably tweeted it something like that, but I remember really disliking the look of the color grading and how it was shot back then. And like now Superman I think is like like my top 2 favorite movies of the year, and probably number 1.
I was going to mention
And a big thing is
Superman.
just the visual style of it. So
Yes, I was also going to bring that up because I remember when people were complaining about it. But you also have to remember a lot of times when the first trailer drops for something, they are still working on post-production stuff. So they are still probably
Yeah.
going to go in there and like fix the color grading, fix how the lighting shows up and everything. So it's not necessarily what the finalized product is going to look like.
The bottom line is that I think the trailer just looked so much fun. The music had me
Yes.
amped up. I was so
the music.
excited.
I'm glad that Ludwig
Getting the
Göransson's back.
Music was
notification,
awesome.
dude, like, and like Ludwig is coming back, or Ludwig is coming back
Yes.
to do the music again. Like, he's gonna be cooking. It's gonna be great. And like, man, just like seeing the notification on my phone, like the trailer is here, and like seeing the
Mhm.
poster at the same time, like it took me back, man. Like we
Yeah.
haven't had this in like 6 years. It's gonna be over 6
And
years
that's
since Rise of
crazy.
Skywalker when this movie comes out.
Yeah.
Like
Like we're gonna see a Star
Dude.
Wars movie in a theater, like a new Star Wars movie in a pretty soon. And I think that enough is reason to celebrate.
Well, should we segue into the next bit?
Hannah, I think
Yeah.
that's a perfect segue into the next bit.
Okay.
Tell us about it, Hannah.
So last week we had Rebuild the Galaxy come out. And I know last week Jacob talked about getting a package from Star Wars. I also received a package. It was just after we recorded. So I posted about it. But that was just like, that was such a huge moment for me because that is the first time that anything like that has happened for me. And it just was so special. So thank you, Swagman. Thank you, Star Wars, for seeing me on Twitter all the time and valuing my presence on Stan Twitter and sending me a package. I really appreciate it. And I posted an unboxing video on my Instagram if y'all want to see, but
That's so cool. It's always cool getting stuff like that in the
So
mail,
nice,
especially
guys.
like whenever you don't ask for it. Because I feel like a lot of people think that like it's something you ask for. It's really not. And I think that like it's a really cool way to kind of keep like the community going online, and also to like express gratitude for like certain users in the community.
Well, it's just like I never would have even thought that I would be someone that would receive a package from Star Wars. So like that is like I still just kind of can't wrap my head around the fact that it happened. And I also like when it came, because you get the email and stuff that it's coming. So I was in Chicago to see Lady Gaga, so I let my parents know that I had a package coming, and my dad asked me, he was like, well, what is it? And so I like I paused because I knew he was about to freak out, and I was like, it's from Star Wars. And he was like, what? How does that happen? And I was like, I don't know. They just said they wanted to send me something. So that was a cool moment. And like he was geeked for me. Like when I got home and I wanted to open it, he was like, you got to open that in front of me. And I was like, well, I want to film an unboxing video too. But like he wanted to be a part of it.
That's awesome. Shout out Hannah's dad.
Yes.
Yeah.
For being a real one. What's funny is that the Force the Force Burner, right?
Burner.
That's like the name of the set.
Force Burner Snow Speeder.
So that set was so much fun to build. But I'm saying this so that I can publicly ridicule Hannah on the podcast.
Oh yeah.
Hannah,
let me
Hannah,
be the first
if you don't
one
know,
to say it. That was ridiculous.
I'm gonna post a picture of it on screen now.
Don't put me on blast.
Hannah built the set, but the way that she built it was she put the wings on backwards and posted a picture of it.
Like so
and I
confidently.
remember, like, she knew what was up. She was like, awesome, I just built the set. God. And I saw Logan's comment, and then I was like, wait.
That like ruined my whole night when I found out, because like I remember finishing it and I looked at it and I had a quick fleeting thought in my mind, that doesn't look right. Why is there this open space? But it was late and I wanted to go to bed, so that like it literally, I thought about it and then it was gone, and then I got in the bed, and then Logan texted our chat and was like, Hannah, you put the wings on backwards. And I was like, are you serious? This is so embarrassing.
Because I was like, how did you just like see the gun in the front of the ship and then be like, yeah, that's fine, like whatever.
It honestly, it did not really make any sense.
I was like, the cockpit opens up, like.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
It's so funny though, because like I think in a lot of ways it just kind of harkens back
it.
to the creativity of Lego Star Wars.
Yeah, well, that's what I said about it.
You know,
because it almost bothered me so much. Because when you texted that, Logan, I was in the bed doing my last scroll and like about to fall asleep, and I was about to set my phone down, and then you sent that, and it kept me up for like 20 more minutes because I was like, do I get out of bed right now to go fix it?
Dude, my ADHD would be freaking out if like I knew I posted it backwards.
But I think where I went wrong, I have this I have the same problem when I'm driving. But like if
that's not good.
Hold on, my dog is barking.
Hannah, wait, what?
I have the same problem when I'm driving, where if I am talking and I like talking to somebody and trying to drive us somewhere that I like don't really remember the directions to, I'm gonna miss a turn. And I will miss a turn, and we're going to take a detour, and we're going to be late. So I think it was the same thing because I built it on a live stream. I was talking to people, and then I was so wrapped up in the conversation that I was having that I just was not really paying attention.
You know, I did not even consider that. I'm going to issue you a public apology, Hannah. I did not even think about that. That makes so much sense, actually. Wrong. That's something that I would do. That is absolutely something that I would do too. I feel that. I gotcha. I'm going to give the floor to Logan because Logan has just an amazing story that
I don't think the Hannah and I, the Galaxy story.
We have not even heard all of this yet, so this is really kind of like our first time hearing
Yep.
Logan really talk about
I've
this.
been
So I
holding
am
off a lot of it.
beyond excited about this. So
We've
Logan,
only
you got
heard
this, dude.
the Cow Kestis debacle.
That's
Not even the full thing.
You'll get to that eventually. Logan,
Yeah.
take us away, dude.
Alrighty. So I had the honor and privilege of being invited to the Rebuild the Galaxy Pieces of the Past fan premiere screening thing at, of all places, Lucasfilm in San Francisco, like the Lucasfilm headquarters and offices and campuses, which is
So cool.
something I never thought that I would be saying ever in my life. Like I don't know how I'm so lucky to have been like at this point. Like we're just like I have all these opportunities and stuff, and so it's great.
It's so awesome.
So it was really cool. I took my first solo trip to San Francisco, like just solo trip in general. So I was like staying at a hotel by myself. Like I was like traveling by myself. Like it was really great. I don't know. Do you guys want to hear my entire San Francisco trip or just the Rebuild the Galaxy? Because it is basically the same thing.
Well, if it's the same thing,
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let me just go. So I get there. I get to the hotel and then I unpack a bit. And so I just brought a backpack. And then I was like, I'm gonna go to Fisherman's Wharf and get myself some crab chowder. And so I took a bird scooter, and it was just like a mile north, basically. But I forgot how vertical San Francisco is, and so it was really embarrassing because I was on this bird scooter, they're just like a motorized scooter, and I'm like pushing up the hill trying to get up it, and I'm just going so slow.
I can
God.
see you
Eventually I get
doing
there.
that, Logan. That's really funny.
Yeah, and yeah, there's a little like, you know, I came across somebody who eventually I had learned was gonna be at the premiere, and it was really funny because I was eating my crab chowder, and these people are so nice. I talked to them afterwards, but like I was eating by myself, and this guy was just like looking at me like from like a table away, and he just kept like looking up for like 5 minutes and just like wasn't saying anything, and I was like, oh my god, like do I have something on my shirt? Like no, I was like, I don't even think I got like recognized, but I was like, I think this guy's like mad dogging me or something like that. But then I saw that he had like an orange Ahsoka shirt, and I said, okay, like he's got to be going to the premiere or something. And I think his girlfriend had a C-3PO backpack, and I was like, okay, I trust myself. I was like, I'll probably see them later, and if I do, I'm gonna bring it up. Anyways, I went back to the hotel on the trolley, which was really fun. And then I took an Uber back because I just needed to grab my jacket because it was a little bit colder than I thought it would be. So I brought my jacket there, and I got dropped off at but I got there very early. I think the thing didn't start until 5:30, and I was already there at 3:30. And so suffice to say, I was early. I was very early because I was like, I do not want to miss this. So I was like, let me explore a bit.
It's better than being fashionably late, though.
Yeah, definitely. I noticed that the Palace of Fine Arts was like half a mile away. And if you don't know about the Palace of Fine Arts, it's the giant building, like theater thingy that looks like it's from Naboo.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was like, well, I gotta go. I have time to kill. And I remember I had to like walk through the campuses basically. And the Yoda statue was like to my left, and I was like, I can't look at it properly yet. I need to like wait and savor the moment. Like I can't just like breeze by it basically. And so I was there for a bit. I took my photos and stuff, and then I came back, and that's when people started showing up, and it was really good. Literally everybody that like I know was there. It was like Marley and Sage and Sabine and everybody. I got to meet Kasi
awesome.
and like I think like Maddie was there, and it was everybody. And it was like great, and like they're all taking the photos and stuff, and I was just chilling, and I got my pictures of the Yoda fountain because I finally took it in, and I was like, this is amazing. And then because this was around like 4 to like 4:30 at this point. Okay. They started letting us like kind of just like browse the offices, so I got to like poke my head in there before the event started basically. And I only took 4 photos, and it kind of is stupid of me, but it was literally the one of Vader, and then like the point five of Vader, and then the one of Cade with
yes.
Your which was a lot of fun, but it was very surreal to be in there because you see them in like the documentaries and stuff and behind the scenes, and you know, just being in that space is such like it brings you to like being a little kid and just like
Yeah.
growing up with this stuff, and like, you know, you guys know me, like I don't remember watching it for the first time because it's that much of a big part of my life. And so it was very cool to stand, like, be in like the room where it happens basically, and you know, like where everything goes down basically. And so I leave like there because I was like, okay, like, I'm gonna like pop back outside and see if there's anybody else here. And another funny story is that I'd let my professor know that I was going to be in San Francisco, like my first day of class there. Because I was like, hey, I'm not going to be here the 19th. And because we had a quiz, that was the whole thing. And then he was like, oh, no, just like let me know like closer to the date, you know? And so like last week, I told him again, I was like, hey, like, I'm not going to be here next Friday. I know that there's a quiz. And he's like, yeah, it'll be online. It's fine. And I was like, okay, cool. And so I emailed him when I was at the airport. And I was like, hey, just letting you know, I'm not going to be at class today. We discussed this. I'm in this section and all that stuff. Because I know we have a quiz. And he's like, yeah. He's like, the quiz will be available from like this time to this time, and it's online, so it's open notes, so you should be okay. And I was like, I don't think you get what I'm trying to say. But anyways, so that means I had to take my quiz at the Lucasfilm thing, like right outside. Like, I was sitting by the Yoda fountain taking a quiz on my phone.
Oh my
for this
gosh.
class.
Did you pass?
I ended up getting 23 out of 25, so I was like, I think that's pretty good.
Okay. Dude, you made my Logan. You made my heart stop for a minute. I thought you were about to admit to making it 23 out of 100. I was about to be like, dude, I would not be bragging about that.
Yeah. But it was great because after that, more people started showing up. It was Liz Starkiller. If you guys know her, she's the one that has the like Lego shirtless clone profile picture. And then Alex, like Turbo Nerd, who I had last seen at Star Wars Night, so that was back in May. And then Julie,
Brent was there too,
Julie
right?
Berry. Brent was there, yeah. He ended up coming out pretty late, but yeah, Julie was there. She's literally like the kindest person ever. Like, I think she was also solo tripping there. So, like, we were kind of like attached at the hip the whole night and like being each other's like photographers and stuff. So all the pictures that you see on my thing of me were pretty much taken by her. But you know, like we start lining up and everybody's sort of like mixing and mingling. There's like other people that I've seen before that I was like kind of like geeking out over. I don't know if you guys know who Jen Markham is. She's like pretty big on TikTok. She does a lot of like, cosplay videos and stuff like that.
Love
she was there,
video.
and she was. I was
so
like,
cool.
you can see on her TikTok, she has like a video of her at the fountain with like a little Grogu thing. I saw them recording that, and it was like seeing the Mona Lisa being painted. Yes, and so they're both
I love
great.
when Jeremy gets to make videos.
Yeah. They're seriously like
cool.
incredible. I love their content so much. I've been following them for like literal years. So it was very exciting to see them. Yeah, and there's just a whole bunch of other people like Luke's lightsabers were there. Like Leah Martinez, other people. Like there's that whole group was there. Like it was like I was joking with everybody. Like I was just calling it Oomph-chella because like anytime that there's like a gathering of like Star Wars people, you know.
It was.
But eventually they let us in. We had to sign some papers. I was like, oh my god, cool. Like, and then we got to hang out because they let us like into the theater, but then there's also like a concession stand area, and what was it? Oh yeah, so like me and Julie.
Cool.
It was so good. I'll talk more about that. But me and Julie, we went to drop off our jackets, and like the theater was like basically empty at this point. Like it was literally us, and then there's like a couple people. They're dressed as Jedi Bob and then Darth Jar Jar. They were in like the very front row, and like I was walking in. Then we're like, "Where should we go? We got to go like up front, like as close as we can to the middle, right?" And then I was like, "Okay, like let's get third row." I was like, "We have to be humble." And then the person dressed as Darth Jar Jar was like, "Hey, like what does that mean to us?" And like we're joking, we're like, "You guys deserve to be in the front. It's totally okay." And it was really funny because like we just dropped off I dropped off my jacket, my blue jacket, which I think everybody recognized as like my thing. Like it's what I have is like my minifigure, which I brought. So little Lego Logan has seen the Yoda fountain. Legogan is there, and like I was just wearing it because I'm like, you got to dress up as the profile picture, you know? Like I got to make myself recognizable. And it's like we dropped it off, and then everybody just started like they're all coming in. I was like, guys, like we're third row, you know, all that stuff. Eventually Brent, like when we were heading in, he's like I moved your jacket to cover my seat too, and I was like, okay, cool. Like I'm sitting next to Brent, you know. But we stopped by at the theater or at the concession stand, which is at a little place you guys may know. I don't know if you guys ever seen it. It's called Jabba the Hutt, which is like, incredible.
That's perfect for
I
you,
was
dude.
like, I know, I was freaking out. I have a photo of me, like, I'll probably send it to you so you can flash it up, but it's just like me pointing at the sign.
Yes, we have to
But
put
I
that
was
in.
freaking out about that. I was freaking out about it
Yeah,
because I think that it's featured in the Light and Magic documentary, like when they were talking about the offices, or there was
Oh,
something where it's like I've
I think
seen
it
these
is.
offices
I feel like
Yes,
I've
before,
I
seen
think
it
you're right.
before.
and I was like starstruck. I think I was starstruck more at Jabba the Hutt than I was at the Yoda Fountain, if I'll be so honest. Like I
That's
don't know. I
great.
was freaking out because I'm like, this is actual, like, you know, it like it's where the employees like get their stuff. Like, I don't know, they had like a little
Yeah.
like gift shop too, and it was closed, but they just had a bunch of like statues and like sideshow, collectible statues and stuff, and they had a little museum of like things of like Lucasfilm over the year and like how their merchandise evolved. Like they had like the Lego, like the original Lego Star
Oh,
Wars video game there among
that's
things.
cool.
That's
So it
nice.
was pretty cool for that. They gave us like donuts and popcorn, which I found out were from
Yum.
like the donuts were from a place called Bob's Donuts, which I think is really fitting considering Jedi Bob.
Yum.
So
They had it on brand.
I got a chocolate donut with a little edible Darth Jar Jar little thing in the middle of
Oh
it.
gosh.
So that was good. Absolutely
Nice.
stuffing my
His
face. I ate
Darth
so
Maul
much that
spider
day.
legs.
Yeah, and I did happen to steal a napkin. So now I have an officially
Look at
licensed
that.
Rebuild the Galaxy paper napkin.
Yo,
Just cause.
I'm so excited to hear the rest of this. This is so
I
Yeah,
good.
know.
it
I'm
was
like,
crazy.
I'm cheesing so hard for you right now.
Dude, both
I
of us,
met.
like, we're all smiling right now. Like, no one, like, man, like, look, I just have to
This is
interrupt to
dramatic
say this.
pause.
Logan,
Yeah,
you deserve this, man. You,
You really
of all of
do.
us, you
thank you guys.
absolutely
No,
deserve this, dude. Like, I cannot think of a kinder, more awesome Lego Star Wars fan and
Yes.
friend online and
Well,
podcast
stop.
co-host
I think I
than you
said
to
this
go to the.
somewhere,
You absolutely
but the
deserve
whole
this,
time
man.
you were there and like the stuff that you did post while you were there, I just felt like the biggest hype
Hmm.
friend. Like I was just so excited for the
Yeah,
fact that you were there. Not an ounce of jealousy
Yeah,
runs through my veins. I am
yeah.
so excited for you.
Thank you guys. No, that actually means like the world to me. Like I feel so lucky. I had the thought like the other day, and I was like, I think it was like when I was like driving to the airport. I was like, I live in LA. Like I am able to like just wake up every day and bark apparently. Um, I don't know. It's like I'm just so lucky to like live like where I do and have access to all these things. Like I the flight wasn't too much to like to get and stuff, and everything just like sort of worked out. And like I go to school for like film, which is like something that like not everybody can do if like they're like living somewhere else. And it's like I'm just able to do all these things, and I'm just so like grateful that I'm like my soul chose to be like where it was and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's just it's crazy.
it's
And
the photo you
I'm
posted too of like. I don't want to interrupt, but I feel like it's just building off what you're
yeah.
saying. Like you
No, yeah,
posted
I had
something.
that
It
one.
started like a trend. I think. I think it
Yeah,
was you, and you
yeah,
Yeah.
it was me.
posted. It was like who went to the Rebuild the Galaxy premiere, and it was like a picture of you next to like the logo, like the sign at
Yeah,
like the premiere, and then it was like who actually went, and it was a picture of you holding like what was it,
God,
like the Lego
I'm
Clone Wars
getting
Little
scroll
emotional
as like a
thinking about
Logan.
grid.
this. It's
This is the
like,
episode where we make Logan cry.
Don't cry.
damn, dude.
That was my
Oh my God, I'm
plan,
actually like
Logan.
tearing up. What the fuck?
Logan,
Oh,
that was
sorry.
my plan all along.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, it's been such a big part of my life, and like I literally, you guys can see my room, and like my whole life revolves around
Mhm.
Star Wars, and it's just like when I was a kid, I was like not like the weird one, but like it was just tough because like I couldn't talk about Star Wars with a lot of
Mhm.
people, and
I
you know,
did
Yeah.
that.
yeah,
See.
I know you guys absolutely get that too, and it's just like cool that like like I never let it stop. Like I never grew
Mhm.
out of it, I guess is like the word like phrase for it, and it's just I'm so
Right.
lucky that I have like people like you guys that like support me, and literally everybody else, and like my parents who like got me things like during the freaking like recession. Like I was like begging like my dad like when his next paycheck was. 'Cause, like he just never like questioned it and stuff.
Please,
And so like,
Legos.
I'm just like, yeah, and it's crazy that like everybody just has my back like that, and I'm incredibly grateful and humbled, and I don't know, like I feel like I need to do my best to be like a good person just so I can give back to everybody in the ways that I can. I don't know, not to be like a tangent like stuff, but just like stuff like that is
you
just
have me
like I never thought that I would
over
be at
here.
this
I
point.
can't even lie. It's
Yeah.
very sweet. But you were at
Anyways,
the
back to the
premiere. I didn't
story.
mean
So who else did you meet?
Yeah, I
What's
didn't mean to make you
happening?
photo on my
cry.
phone for the
Sorry,
longest
Logan.
time. Yeah. So when I was having my thing, everybody was like eating there, sort of like congregating. I did get to meet Kat, Kyber Kat, the Kanan mask person.
The Kanan Mask Queen!
You saw
She
the
is
Kanan
so
mask in
funny.
person? That's crazy.
I saw the Kanan mask in person. It was whispering sweet nothings to me. It was like, it was incredible.
So it talks
Kat
like
was
the
with
Green
Olive.
Goblin mask, is what you're telling me.
Yeah. Kat was with Olive, CT Girly on Twitter.
Nice.
We love Olive.
And one of my other friends, Kat, on Twitter, she's Kat Amadala. She lives in the UK, and you guys know what I'm talking about. But she told Kat and Olive to bring like photos of her to print out.
I saw this.
Yes, and then she like had me
This was
take
awesome.
like photos with them and stuff. So I made sure that I got those. And then what? Oh, yeah,
That's so
yeah. When I
funny.
was in there, that's when I met Jen. I think I talked about it briefly, but I was just like telling her how much I loved her content and stuff, and how she was so nice. But at that point, a lot of us were sort of like there from like Star Wars Twitter. We're like, oh, like we got to go and then like take a picture, like at the giant like red carpet thingy, like the giant banner. And when we're walking, we met up with Swagman. And we're like, oh my god, it's it's Swagman. It's like we're very excited to see them. And we're all giving like each other hugs and stuff, and it's just great. And I was telling him, I was like, oh my god, like I forgot, like I'd realized it when I was at the fountain. I was like, I forgot to pack my Swagman's BFF bracelet, and I was like telling them that, and they're like, oh, this one, and then they just hand me another. It's like,
oh my gosh,
like a fresh like bracelets, and I have a second one.
Swagman, you are too generous.
Too generous. So my guy would have had 24 hours, So they handed me that, and then they gave me this little lanyard keychain thing. On one side it says "Friends with Swagman," and then the other side it just says "I met Swagman, and all I got was this keychain," which is I think my favorite piece of merch from them that I have.
Yes, that might be the best
I need to throw
one.
down my keys.
That's really cool.
It's definitely one of the best. But it was really fun. They took. Like they were like, you guys, like everybody from like Twitter, they're like, just go outside towards like the fountain, and we're like, okay, cool. And we were just like all gathered around, and like it was literal oomph chat. Like we were all just like throwing it around at that point. And we got like some like photos. I need them to post these photos somewhere, because it was like they had like the professional cameras like shooting it, and then they had this.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and then they had like B-roll of us like basically cheering for like Rebuild the Galaxy and stuff. And, so it was really fun, and then we finally made our way into the theater because it was like 6:30 at that point, and I had like, so I brought. We're gonna get into it now.
Here we go.
I had my mini me, and I had a Dustin Henderson minifigure from Stranger Things because I didn't have a Sig Grewing minifigure, and I brought Cal Kestis for the only reason of that I was excited that Cal Kestis was in this show. And so I get there, and they like I knew that because we knew that we were having a Q&A with Gaten. That was all that we knew. But there is a chair like for the like MC like interviewer, and then there was 3 other chairs, and I was like, interesting. So they had the Q&A for like, I was like, okay, Gaten's gonna be one of these. I was like, they have 2 other guests. I have no idea who they could be. Like we're all just like chatting. It's very fun. It was like we were passing around Kat's mask and like wearing it, and it's I need to I've worn the mask now. There is a weird energy to that thing. It like it felt so Green Goblin-esque. I put it to my face, and I was like, I had to take it off. I was like, this doesn't feel right. It was genuinely serene. I need to know if anybody got a picture of that. Yeah, I was like, I get it. Like that's not great.
Dude, Logan saw the answers to the universe inside that thing.
Yeah, I saw the world between worlds when I put that mask on.
Nice.
Yeah. When I put on the mask, it felt like that scene from The Acolyte when Osha puts on Chimere's mask for the first time, and it's just like everything's like
Nice.
echoing in there. Like that's how it felt. Anyways, I forgot to. Yeah, there was like they had a giant like in like the lobby like sort of like concessions area. They had like a giant like 10 foot by like 15 foot screen where they're just like running through the different trailers and stuff. And I saw like the Andor season 2 trailer like on like the big screen, and I was just standing there like it felt like that scene from Blade Runner.
Rise of Skywalker. Rise of Skywalker.
No, they didn't have a Rise of
Trailer?
Skywalker. They were doing like it was like Andor season 2 like
Look at the
skeleton
crash
crew, everything like that. But anyways, yeah, so we're in the theater and you know, they kick it off. Like the director was there. I think his name was like Chris Buckley. He was kicking off and stuff, and it was great. And we saw Rebuild the Galaxy, all 4 parts, which is very good because when I saw Andor, it was only the first 15 minutes of season 2, episode 1. So it was good that I got to see the entire thing. And it was like so funny because like, you know, and then we could talk about Rebuild the Galaxy like after everything, but like, I mean, if we have time, I don't know. I'm gonna keep talking though.
No, as you should.
It was so funny.
Honestly, I
this group
was
of
really
people,
hoping that this would be the majority of the episode anyway.
Yeah. The majority of people there are very big Bad Batch stands. And if you know Rebuild the Galaxy, you know that they have like minuscule like pixel cameos and stuff. But it was so funny because anytime that one of them would pop up, you would just like see a sea of hands just point at the screen like in unison, being like, oh my god, like it was like Julie was like, you know, whacking me in like the arm like that. I look behind like Kat's like throwing her finger at the screen too, and like Liz's too, and it literally everybody like I was like I could feel like Marley and like Jill and everything on that side, and they just like pointing at the screen. Like anytime that there's like Omega, there's a part where Hunter and like Crosshair high five, the collective scream at that point. It was so funny. Like I was like, we picked like the perfect group of people because it was like Glup Shido Fest, where everybody is just like seeing like their face. Like when I saw Neil, that was like me though. Like I had like my moment, you know, like the way that people are about Bad Batch on Twitter, that's how I am about Skeleton Crew.
Neil.
As you should be. Underrated series.
Yeah, Rebuild the Galaxy though, it was great. I kept saying it feels like when you're a kid and you're playing with your action figures and you're just making stuff up just for the hell of it. And like you just have all these rules and like you're swapping like different heads on the different bodies and just making stuff up. And, like it just felt like the imagination of a kid like creating a story like that.
We said the same thing on the podcast last week, I think too.
Yes, because that's what the creators wanted it to feel like.
Yeah. Like I think it was like perfect with like the Akbar troopers and things like that, and like Greedo like be on like Han Solo's body. Like it feels, I don't know, it was great. But then they brought out Gate and Matarazzo for a Q&A, and that was really fun. And I made sure to write some notes here that I had. One big thing that I pointed out was that they talked about the orange lightsaber, and Gaten was saying that he was the actual one that chose it to be orange because he was like you know, he's like Sig's like a different kind of Jedi. He's like, we've seen like orange lightsabers like on different characters in the past, but this is the first time that we're really seeing it on like the big screen. So he's like, I wanted it to be different. And he was also saying that he drew a lot of inspiration from Samuel L. Jackson when it came to that choice. Like he was like,
I like it.
It was so funny. He was like, you know, he's like, I don't really think that like lightsabers meaning or anything like that. Like, you know, a lot of people back in the days, like when they saw Sam Jackson with the purple lightsaber, they're like, oh, he's drawing on like the dark side of the Force because it's like red mixed with blue. Right. But it was really just because he wanted to stand out. And I was like, thank you, Gaten, because like because in canon, like they don't have any meaning. Like it's just about like what the crystal is, which I think is better because I don't like.
I agree.
I don't like your lightsaber like casting you into a system, basically. Anyway, so he chose his lightsaber to be orange because of the fact that he's different, and he got to. And then they were like, oh yeah, you might be noticing that like we have some like empty seats here. Like, you know, we have some special guests. And like they kept bringing up Samuel Jackson. Like they were just joking that they were bring out Samuel Jackson. They're like, oh my God. No, we don't have him. But they brought out the woman herself, Ashley Eckstein.
I honestly had a feeling that she would be there.
Yeah, it was. I was like, she had to, you know, like I was
wild,
like,
man.
I was taking it in. It was crazy because, you know, Clone Wars was the first movie that I saw as a kid in theaters, at least like a Star Wars movie.
Mhm.
And so just seeing her there, it was very surreal, but it also felt very familiar. Like I wasn't like I was
Yes.
excited, but
That's
I
just kinda
wasn't
her
like
vibe.
starstruck, you know?
Mhm.
Like I was just like, yeah, like this is just actually like this is like an old friend. Like that's how it felt, you know, it was very comforting. And she's great. They handed Gaten a little Sig Greenway minifigure when he first showed up, and like he had it like next to the chair beside him, and then Ashley Eckstein showed up and they gave her the Brickhead's Ahsoka. And then they were like, oh yeah, like we feel like
Drum
there's not enough
roll.
like redhead appreciation here. They're like, let's bring out like another Jedi survivor, and then like me, there's a photo of it that Swagman took
Oh,
of me, Liz, and Julie like
really
reacting to it.
sweet.
Like it's all of us just like pog champing when we
Dude,
heard
you're
them
like a
announce that Cameron
Wojak.
Monaghan
Oh my god. I
was
mean,
coming
I would
out.
have
Like it was
reacted
like
the same
actually
way.
incredible.
Oh my gosh.
Like
Live
because the thing
Logan
is, I've seen
reaction.
Cameron Monaghan before in when I was at the Last of Us premiere back in like 2023.
Oh.
And so it was cool like getting to see him again, but it's just like it's just so crazy because Cal Kestis is one of my favorite characters. Like I think
Mhm.
he and Ezra are like my favorite Jedi.
Hmm.
So seeing
Based.
him in a different context from the games is so weird, but it's also very exciting because
Yeah.
it just opens so many doors and I don't know. So they bring him out and I'm freaking out and I'm over there just like taking everything in. I'm looking at Brent. I'm like, dude, that's Cal Kestis, you know? And so they start
He's
asking a bunch of
Calcus.
questions and I wrote some of them down. So Cameron mentioned at one point, because like they're saying like what it's like to play Cal outside of like the games and stuff, and he was saying that like it was just a lot of fun, and he was excited to play Cal not being in constant peril because that was like a big thing, was just the Cal's always going through
Oh,
something in the games.
he
Um,
is.
but he said he had a lot of fun playing a lighter version of him compared to the more like older oriented audience
Mm.
for the game.
Hmm.
And they asked like Ashley like what it was like playing Ahsoka again, and she was saying that it's just like great that she's able to like give back so much like with this character and stuff, and that like she was saying given the opportunity she would play Ahsoka till she's 80 just because she loves doing
Till
like
you're
not even playing the
90.
character but also just being there for everybody, like doing these
Yeah.
events and stuff. Like she was like it was like a no-brainer coming out here and stuff like that. um Another thing was that Cameron noted that he didn't really know what he was doing since he didn't have a ton of lines, because this the thing is it was everybody's first time watching it. It was Gaten and Cameron and
Okay.
Ashley's first time watching it to its entirety.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so he was saying like he didn't know like what he was doing, like in his like role in the entire story, just because like he has so few speaking lines.
Yeah.
And then they were talking about how at one point, like, because they were asking like, what it's like working with Ashley as Ahsoka, then Cameron as Cal, like what
Mm.
it's like to see them on screen together, and they're saying that it's always been like a pairing that they've wanted to see, but they never had the opportunity. But Ashley pointed out that her and Cameron did a con together a couple years ago, and
Oh.
they were both signed on to be in this, but they didn't know it yet. It's like they went into this
Oh
con
my
like fully
gosh.
because like it's so secretive
Kyle.
that they didn't even know that like their co-stars like were part of it.
That is so crazy.
And yeah, it was like really interesting because I think Gabe, he was like an executive producer on the series. So
Oh,
he
that's
was
cool.
actually the one that reached out to Cameron about being in it. But what he wasn't
He
telling
did it
us
for us.
before was that they started work on the second Pieces of the Past before Rebuild the Galaxy even came out.
Oh,
Like they
really?
were already like getting
Oh,
like they were
wow.
writing and like getting ready to shoot it before like they were even done. So like Gaten was saying, you
Yeah.
know, after Pieces of the Past came out, everybody's like, "Are you gonna do like a second season and stuff like that?" And he, no, but they were literally in development of it at that point already, like very deep into it.
That's crazy.
But he was saying that when he called up Cameron and was like, "Hey, I have a favor to ask. He's like, we're doing this thing. It's a Lego thing. He's like, you just got to trust me. It's not out yet. But like, would you be down to come and do like a couple lines for it?" He's like, I promise it's gonna be good. You know, it's out there, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. And I'm just like trying to imagine him trying to convince Cameron Monaghan to like do this thing where it's like you don't even know like what it's gonna be at that point.
Yeah.
So that was really exciting. They asked everybody what their favorite moments were in the thing, just because everybody was like, you know, flying around doing a whole bunch of hubbub.
Mhm.
Gaten said his favorite moment was seeing Pirate R2D2's peg leg, because he didn't actually know that
Yes,
he had a
that
peg
was
leg
so
until he was
funny.
walking it. And then he was like, "Why is he walking around like that?" He's like, "Oh my god, it's a peg leg." So he thought that was like one of his favorite things. Cameron's favorite character was Jedi Vader, and he was happy that he got to like be a dad and how exciting that was for him. He just thought it was like a very fun reversal of who we know, you know. And
So
then Ashley
wholesome.
said that she really liked Pirate Queen Amidala, and she was saying that she
Yes.
didn't really know that she was in it until like very recently, and she didn't even know that like she was gonna have any speaking lines. So she was like, "I need to call Catherine Tabor immediately after this and like let her know how much of a good
Yes.
job she did." So everybody was like sort of like cheering for that too.
That's cool.
They asked Cameron why he didn't have any lines about Poncho. He was saying that he was surprised too. But it was like really funny because I forgot like what the context was, but he was saying that like it's getting to that point like where like it's like the what because they were saying that he should have brought like a poncho to like wear on stage, and he was like, it's getting to that point. He's like he calls it pumpkin spice and poncho season, which like just became like the inside joke of the night
Stop.
apparently.
Oh my god, I'm gonna start saying
Because
that.
everybody loves their
we
ponchos.
should title the episode that. If it weren't such a
Pumpkin
big
spice and ponchos.
episode,
I think
I
we
would
do it.
make it.
Yes.
I would make it the
Yeah.
title.
Gayton was asked like what it was like being a Jedi and getting to do all these things. They asked if he did a lot of like lightsaber moves in the VO booth. And he was saying like he did like a few, like he's kind of like a person that talks with his hands, and he was saying it was something that he was a little insecure about, like when he acts, because he's a very visual person that talks with his hands. Exactly, Jacob. He's doing the same thing.
I feel
right
so
now.
noticed.
Yeah.
I've never felt more seen in my entire life. Oh my god.
Yeah.
He's literally me.
But,
I'm literally
he was
him.
saying, yeah, he was glad that he didn't have to do any mocap, and he kind of like he gestured to like Cameron about that because like Cameron was kind of like, because he's doing all these moves as Cal Kestis on like these like sound pages and stuff. Yeah. So that was pretty fun. And like one of the things like they did to like wrap it up was sort of like asking them what their favorite character traits are from their own characters and what they want to bring that into their own lives, like which parts of their character they want to bring as like a part of themselves. And they started with Ashley because they felt like Ashley had like a really good sense of what it would be, and she was saying that like there's a line from like a season 7 of the Clone Wars, and I forget exactly what it was, but she knew what it was, and it was about like how like you just help people sometimes, and like there's like a duty to that, and like there's like I don't know, like, I don't know if you know like, what the line
she's
is.
helping the sisters.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what the line is?
It's in my life, when you find people that need your help, you help them no matter what.
Yeah, it was exactly that. That was the exact quote that she said. But she was saying that like just Ahsoka's ability to help people is like, kind of inspires her to live her best life and all that stuff. And then Cameron was like, dang, like I don't even know how I'm gonna, top that. But then he was saying how he really loves Cal's optimism. Because like when you play the games, like he's like one of the kindest people that's out there in this like very dark time in the galaxy.
Yeah.
He all the best in people, always putting best forward. And he was like, dang it, you guys, this is like a joke. It's like, what? How am I supposed to like top any of those? But he was saying that he loved like Sig's sense of adventure and like his hope, and that he thinks it's important to like keep moving forward like that and see the best people, sort of like Cal, but especially with characters like Dev, just like understanding like people and helping them, like just basically like being kind to everybody. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much how they ended it. But there is something else that Ashley said, where she was saying that like she loves Star Wars and just like the universe itself and being able to do all these things for us. And she was saying that she wears like Star Wars shirts sometimes, like when she's traveling, and people like pointed out, then like they could have like conversations about things like that, and build a connection. And she was saying that like it's just cool that like Star Wars brings us all together, and like we're all united through this like series. And I think that it was so true around like literally all these people that like I wouldn't have ever met if it weren't for these things. Like I'm talking to you guys, and I would never know you guys if it weren't for Star Wars. And so it was just a very like cool moment, and it makes you appreciate everything. That, like if this series didn't exist, like none of us would know each other.
I have talked about that with Ashley both the times that I met her, and we both and I feel like she gushes over this a lot too, just everywhere that she speaks, or like if you listen to her podcast, she's a really big important theme in Star Wars being found family. I think all of us kind of take that and run with it because we have found our found family through Star Wars. It's just I get emo thinking about it. It's so special.
Yeah, it's like one of those moments where it does hit you, and I think it's great. But yeah, and so they were wrapping it up, and they were like, "Okay, we're gonna do a quick picture," and this is where everything happens.
I've been waiting for this part of the story.
You'll notice,
viewers, listeners, you are in for a ride.
Yeah, everybody strap in for the dumbest story that you'll ever hear. When they were coming out, right, they give Gate a grieving mirror, they gave Ashley her Ahsoka brickheads, and when Cameron came out, they didn't give him anything. So I was like, they didn't have a Cal Kestis minifigure for Cameron. What the heck? And so they're getting ready for the picture, and everybody's sort of like standing up, and like they're kind of like gathering around. And I turn to Cameron, and I'm like, all right, let's just do this. I pull out my Cal Kestis minifigure, and I'm like, yo, Cameron. And he like turns, and I'm like pointing at him. I'm like, handing it to him. And he kind of like reaches over. I'm like, for the picture. And I touch Cameron. I was like, oh my God, cool. So he takes it. And I'm like, okay, cool. And like he's getting, everybody's like gathering around. Like he hands like the something. And I was like, okay, cool. And they're all like gathering for the photos. And like they take a few photos. And if you look at it, it's so embarrassing how dead center I am in these pictures.
It's so funny though. It's awesome.
You're like right above,
right there in the middle.
Like my jolly ass is just like grinning his little butt off.
I just remember when I first saw the picture, I zoomed in on Ashley first, and then I was like, "Oh, hey, there's Logan."
And you just see me. It is so ridiculously like if you look at where the projector is on that screen, I am right there. Like underneath it. It is the funniest photo ever.
I don't think I've told you this, Logan, but whenever I saw that photo for the first time, I was just looking at it like I had it pulled up on my phone, and my wife was like, Logan? And like I was like, what are you talking about? And she like double tapped the phone and like zoomed into you. I was like, oh my God, that's Logan. He's there.
Yeah.
Live Logan reaction.
So
that's
it was
awesome.
so funny. Literally, like make that the thumbnail, just like that single 4K image. It was so, oh my God.
No.
But it was great. I was like, I had like eye contact with the camera basically. I was like, I'm so in the middle of this. It's so funny. But then they walking away, and I was like,
there goes your figure.
Oh, he still has my. I was like, he still has my Cal Kestis. I was like, wait. I was like, oh my God. And then like, Julie is like, she's like, did they give it back? And like the guy that's sitting behind me, he's like, did you get your figure back? And I was like, no, I didn't. I was like, wait, Cameron, come back. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, I would be like, I'm an idiot. Like, of course he's gonna think that I'm giving it to him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm such a dumbass for that. Like I said for the photo.
But Logan,
that's the thing. Like, if you didn't hear that,
now he has your Cal Kestis.
Mm-hmm. Cal Kestis.
We're getting to that.
Cal Kestis.
We're getting to that. Anyways, a little pause from that. I'm trying to like keep it together because I'm like, what the hell? Like this is like a very expensive figure. He was not cheap.
You got robbed.
I was like, I need to get him back, or I need to replace him ASAP because I am such a person that is like very connected to like my minifigures for some reason. Like maybe it's like
what you showed me earlier, you need to take a picture of.
Yeah, I will, Jacob. It's so funny. I was showing Hannah
because we need to insert a picture of this on the screen too
of all of like my 25th anniversary figures, and there's just an empty space now with my
with the lightsaber. His lightsaber with the lightsaber.
It's like
oh my God,
it's like he became
so
one
sad.
with the Force.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my God.
That's crazy though.
So I'm trying to reel in from that, from like the excitement and then like the immediate disappointment and then like the betrayal, of it all. But then they were like, okay, like, before everybody leaves, like I know that like we mentioned something about like a giveaway or like raffle or something like that, and I was like, I didn't hear anything about this. They're like, if you look to the screen, like we're gonna show you like all the winners. If you have like a thingy, like if your name's on here, then go out to like the table afterwards and like you'll get your prize. And I was like, because like they were saying that we're all gonna get posters, but I was like, okay, what is this prize? And then I look at this like giant screen and I see like my name like dead center, and I was like,
what?
"Oh my god, I won!" And I like it didn't hit me until later in the day because I have like somebody sent me the photo of like all the names there, and it didn't hit me because like they said it, but they were like, "Oh, my name has been on the big screen at Lucasfilm," and that like that's how it registered in my head, and I was like, "Oh my god." Because like if you guys know me, like obviously I want to get into like the film industry, but like my dream is to work at ILM, like doing like visual effects or something like that.
Manifesting.
Manifesting works apparently, because my sister sent me that tweet from last year where I was like, I would love to visit Lucasfilm one day, and then like that also got me emotional. But I was like literally like, on the screen there, and I was like, oh my god.
Wow.
So like I'm walking out and I'm trying to like see if like the agent's there, or like if his team is there, so I can ask for it back and stuff like that. I'm very like dead set on this.
Still thinking about your minifig.
Yeah, because like the entire time I'm like, okay, like I went to my set, which ended up being because they had like different prizes depending on the people. So like some people were getting like the Dark Falcon. I was like, that's crazy.
Oh wow!
Honestly, thankfully I didn't, because I would not have been able to put that onto my plane. Then so I got the Jedi Bob Starfighter, and I was like, okay, cool. Thing is, Jedi Bob for me is kind of an op. I won't even lie. I kind of do not.
Valid.
So I was like, okay, cool. But also like the set was from like last year, and then I was also like on the lowest key, being so real. I was a little bit bummed that I didn't get a package, but I was like, okay, whatever. So then I'm kind of like regrouping with everybody, and I saw that had the snow speeder, and she was like, yeah, she's like, me and like my dad like both won, and I was like, what the heck? She's like, yeah, like we both got the snow speeder, and I was like, do you want my Jedi Bob Starfighter so you guys can have both of the sets? She's like, yes, please, and I was like, okay, cool, thank you. I gladly took the Force Burner snow speeder set from her, which now I have, and it's all nice and built, and it's very lovely. And I have my own SIG grouping, so I left with two Gaten Matarazzo figures and one less Cameron Monaghan figure. But now I have him, and he's very cool. And so like we're all there in like the lobby and stuff, and like we're talking to Slagan a bit more just about everything and like how fun it was. And she was saying that they knew that Cameron Monaghan was there, but they weren't telling us anything because like they were just like wanted to capture our reactions and stuff, and they were just leaving us in the dark. But it was so much fun, and like I was talking to like more people, and then like when we were getting ready to leave, I ran into the people that were staring at me at Fisherman's Wharf. And then I was like, hey, by any chance were you at Fisherman's Wharf earlier today? And he was like, oh my god. He's like, I'm so sorry. He's like, I saw your tattoo. I thought it was like the last one. I was just trying to make sure. I was like, oh my god, yeah, it was. And he was like, my eyesight is just like not very good. She's like, I'm sorry that it was like coming off a certain way. I was like, no, you're good. I thought I was like, there's something on my shirt or something like that. I was like offensive or something like that. I don't know. But it was a very funny moment. I was like talking to them, and I found out that they're both from like Burbank, and so it's cool. And I hope to meet them again. They ended up being on the Instagram post. They were the ones that were dressed as Sig and oh my god, what's her name?
Yessie.
The girl. Oh my god.
Yessie,
Yessie Scala. I forgot her first name. But yeah, it was them. So they were very nice. But I'm trying to think about what else. It was just like, it was a whole lot of fun. Like, yeah, like afterwards, like a bunch of us went to the Mel's Diner that was like nearby, and like they had to separate us because there was like 15 of us that were there, and so like we were like all separate in like different sides of the restaurant, and so we were trying to like communicate with each other through like the like when you're at the club and you're like typing things out like that. So we were like passing each other like notes basically, but we started like I think I just started writing out like character deaths, and just like giving it to. I think I wrote down like whenever we ever held it up, and they're like Logan. That's like we started like going back and forth doing things like that. But
oh my gosh,
yeah, it was a wonderful night. I also have a poster that I need to put up. Did you guys get posters, or is it just me?
I did not get a poster.
I did not get a poster.
But I got a servo snackle box.
Okay, well,
I love my snackle box.
That's very cool.
Yeah, I know. I'm very jealous of you guys. That's so awesome. But yeah, I think that's mainly it for like my time at Lucasfilm. It was it was just so much fun, like getting to see everybody again, and like the shenanigans that we pulled in there is so funny. Like just walking around taking a bunch of 0.5s of everything, where I was like, you can't let us here.
This is kind of cliche to say, but that was such a core memory day for you. Like you were going to take that with you for the rest of your life. That is so awesome.
Yeah,
dude. Like if you have kids, you're gonna definitely tell them about it and stuff.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, like
me and like Sage so and cool. Like Sabine and stuff. We were saying because like we all went to the Andor one, and I feel like Andor is a bit higher caliber in terms of like what the event was, because like it was like the red carpet for the thing, like. But there was something about the fact that there was so many of us this time around from like Twitter, and it was something so fun and like personal because it was at the Lucasfilm headquarters. Like it's such a different feeling than just the Andor one, and so it was absolutely crazy. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's like anything else that's like of note. I'm like looking at the photos, trying to like find anything. Oh yes, there was more. There's more to this story. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to bed, right? I'm back in my hotel. I've said bye to everybody at this point. I'm bummed about my Cal Kestis. I'm like calling my family. I'm like letting them know like everything how crazy it was. And it's like 1 a.m, and Sage sends me a photo, a screenshot of the person who interviewed them, their story. It was Kristen Baver. And it's captioned, emptied my pockets to find, and then it's a photo of Cal Kestis, and she says, sorry, Cal. And I was like, oh my God, she has the figure. Wonderful. All right, cool. It sucks that he's not with him, but at least at least I can track it down. So I was like reaching out, I was like, this is mine, like, please. Like, I was like trying to hand it to him, but like, hey, just like pass around all that stuff. And it never got a response just because like this. She has like a whole bunch of followers. It was buried in the request, and it was also at 1 a.m. And I was like, all right, cool. I was like, let me just, I don't know, if I need to replace it, it's fine, like whatever. And then I'm at like the airport getting ready to leave, and they post the photo of the thing on their Instagram or on the Twitter, but it's a very low quality photo at first. I think they like deleted the tweet and then like re-uploaded it. But I noticed something, and well, first of all, that's a photo of me. But I was like, oh my God, like oh my God, Cameron's holding my figure. But then I was looking at everybody else, because like Ashley has like her little brickheads of Ahsoka, and then Gaten's giving a thumbs up. But then Kristen's holding something, and I was like, wait a second. And I look a little closer, and I was like, did he actually have a figure of himself already there? Because the whole reason like why I gave it to him in the first place is because he didn't have one. And so they upload the higher quality photo, and I see in her hand very clearly is the Cal Kestis minifigure with a lightsaber, might I add. With a lightsaber, because the one on her story had the lightsaber, and I was like, oh, my idiot self, because the one that Cameron's holding doesn't have a lightsaber, which means that it is mine. So that's cool.
So he has it.
So, you know,
I'm torn between titling this episode like the pumpkin spice and ponchos, but I also low-key want to call this episode, I was going to call it something wholesome, like Logan went to the rebuild the Galaxy pieces of the like premiere. I was going to call it something like that, but now I really just want to call it how Cameron Monaghan stole Logan's Cal Kestis.
No,
that's what it needs to be.
No, it needs to be called how Cameron Monaghan robbed Logan.
What needs to happen is
of their collector item.
You need to meet him at Star Wars Celebration, manifesting that he'll be there, and tell him all of this, and be like, "You have my minifigure."
I think I will. Yeah, I think I need to meet. I think I will pay so much money to meet him just to talk to him. Yeah,
but it could work out in your favor. He could sign it and make it even more special.
Yeah. Sign the inch and a half tall minifigure that I have.
Listen, man, they make fine tip Sharpies. All right, they can do it.
I was so like, part of me was like relieved, but also kind of like still sad that I don't have it. And I was telling Hannah, I was like, the list of things that I would want it to go is that, you know, top of the list is that I have it back. He's home safe, and I'm able to tell this funny story and have Cameron give me back the figure. But right below that is that he has the figure himself, and he has my thing, and it was so funny because like all these people were posting them on like Instagram and Twitter, being like Cameron Monaghan with like a like Lego Cal Kestis and stuff, and I'm like, my Lego Cal Kestis, and I'm like that belongs to me. And it was so funny because like the same thing happened with Yellow Jackets, because I posted that photo of Sophie and Elise with the little Antler Queen minifigure that I made, and everybody's like posting to like Sophie and Elise with like Lego Antler Queen made by fan, and I'm like, me.
That's mine.
So it's like cool seeing my influence, but it's also funny just seeing me in the background of all these photos too. But yeah, Cal Kestis Gate comes to a close with the knowledge that I embarrassingly texted this interviewer demanding a figure that wasn't even mine back. And then also just the knowledge that Cameron has my thing. So I deleted those messages. I'm like, take back what I said.
I was gonna say I would have sent another one like, never mind.
Yeah, I unsent those with shame.
You should have just said like,
it was like, my bad, yeah. But I was like,
8-ball request.
Like, because I remembered when I handed him the thing, he handed something to the interviewer, and I was like, I hope that wasn't like my figure, but it was him, because they handed him the figure that he got from Lucasfilm, I guess. He handed that to her, and so then he had mine for the photo, which I think is pretty special.
Yeah.
But I was like, I've been sitting on that story since it happened. Yeah. I've been sitting on the story since it happened because I knew that I wanted to tell you guys like the full, like, incredibly insane details of it, and like how just like wild of a story it was.
It's so crazy to me.
But yeah, I'm on I'm on his Instagram.
You are.
Which is very posted that, and I commented. I said that Cal Kestis minifigure looks awfully familiar. And yeah, so I think that's my legacy. So I think I definitely need to meet him again, and then be like let him know about all that stuff.
We have to continue the saga. We got to know.
Yeah, like there will be a part 2 to this.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, it's just so funny, like looking at my little like 25th anniversary collection, and he's just not there anymore. And I think BD1 is like really sad, so he needs a buddy.
No, why would you say that? That makes it so much more sad, Logan.
I know.
No, I didn't even think about that, dude. He's all alone. He needs his buddy.
Yeah. Anyways, I got a bunch of little bracelets. I forgot who exactly gave me what. I got one of them from Kati. I think it's the Luminous Beings one, and then I got one from Amy's. It says Jedi. So that's very fun. And I forget where I got these ones. May the Force be with you, and then it was Rebuild. I think it was Kat or Olive that gave me these ones, I want to say. But yeah, that pretty much brings my big, long-winded story time to a close about my experience in San Francisco.
This is the best story time I've ever witnessed.
Listen,
yeah, I had to make sure that I didn't tell you guys anything about that, because it was such a wild time and such a funny story with everything that went down. But yeah, long-winded yap sesh over. Thank you guys for listening.
Someone said this a long time ago, and it's always stuck with me. I cannot for the life of me remember who said it, but I know I heard it on TikTok. Star Wars is not about how much you know. It's about how much you love. And that goes for any fandom, really.
That is a good quote.
You know? And I feel like this is just the prime example of that, to where you got to go and just have fun with really your friends that all share a mutual love and appreciation for Star Wars. And you said it earlier, and I'll say it again here too. Even us just recording the podcast every week and talking about Star Wars and catching up with one another, and even just talking throughout the week when we're not even recording the podcast. You know, we talked earlier, Logan, especially you, about how like growing up, like you may have had a few friends, but like you didn't really have that sense of community. And that's just so true now, I feel like, between the online sphere of Star Wars and the fandom and us just talking now. It's like we are friends talking about Star Wars, but we would have never been friends or maybe even met had we not had that mutual appreciation for it. So, you know, like, again, I'm just happy that you were able to go to the premiere. I think that's so cool, man. And just hearing these stories, like, man, it's so much fun. And it makes me just think about why I appreciate Star Wars in the first place, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
That reminds
me. It's definitely a special sort of thing.
I have a quick shout out.
Okay.
Speaking of Star Wars bringing people together, I think I texted y'all this. When I was at the Lady Gaga concert, we were waiting in line for merch, and the line was egregiously long. So we were in line for maybe 30 to 45 minutes, and me and Kaylee started talking to the girls behind us. They were two sisters. They had taken off school to come together, and we were just talking, and we were like, you know what? Y'all are cool. Let's follow each other on Instagram. And so I was just like, oh, as long as y'all don't mind that I like pretty much only post about Star Wars. And the oldest sister had gone to throw something away, and her little sister Lindsay was like, oh, well, that's perfect because my sister loves Star Wars. So then she comes back and she follows me, and I was like, oh, I hear you like Star Wars too. Like, that's all I post about. And she was like, oh, cool. Yeah, like I love Star Wars so much. Ahsoka Tano is my favorite. So then I was like, Ahsoka Tano is also my favorite. I can't wait for my Instagram, because one of my pinned posts is the first time I met Ashley. So just like seeing her face when she opened my page and saw that, and then she freaked out, and then we like gushed over Ashley and Ahsoka together, and I was like, what are the chances that I'm in line for merch at a Lady Gaga concert and I make friends with another fellow Ahsoka Tano fan, like someone who grew up with her too? Like, that was just... And Ashley always says like, oh, like Ahsoka lives in all of us, but that was one of the moments where like she does. So shout out to you, Courtney. You're really cool. Ahsoka lives in all of us.
See, you guys have like really wholesome stories. Like whenever you meet so many great people within the fandom that truly love and appreciate Star Wars, like man, like there's no better feeling.
Makes you forget all about it.
Yeah. It does. Like it just like they go away like that. And it just goes to show that at the end of the day, a lot of the noise is just noise. Man, this might be one of my favorite episodes I think we've ever recorded.
This was a good one.
This was a good one, man.
Thank you for sharing your experience, Logan.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for letting me have a platform to share my experiences, because I don't think I'm not one of those people that records a TikTok and be like, this is everything that I did at, So, yeah, I appreciate you guys just for having me all the time, and I'm glad that we do this stuff because it's pretty great.
Well, if you're listening on Spotify, thank you so much for listening to another episode of the pod. Again, I was looking today. We have a lot of listeners over on Spotify. I know we thanked them in the last podcast, but just to thank you again, we have like 132 consistent listeners, and we have a 5-star rating on Spotify as well. So I just want to give a shout out to them as well. Thank you guys so much for listening over on Spotify.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You can also find us on YouTube. Maybe you're watching us on YouTube right now. If you are, you already know where to find us. What are you doing? But if you are listening on Spotify, you can subscribe to us over on YouTube as well. Eventually, one of these days, we'll start posting a little bit of extra stuff on the channel here and there, which I think could be fun to do. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But you can find us on YouTube as well. Just Crait Pod. That's just Crait. Whatever you type in, it should pop up. Hannah, where can you find us on Instagram?
You can find us at Just Crait Pod, as well as on Twitter.
Crazy. And the Twitter I have been in charge of, and I hate to say it, I've been slacking real bad on the Twitter. That's on me. I'll own up to that. But I'm in the process. I just gave everybody channel permissions today, so we can all post on the channel and things like that. We can post shorts and videos and whatever, community posts, things like that. And I'm in the process of doing the same for Twitter. As always, thank you guys so much for listening. Dap us up through the Force. Yeah. Until the next episode, may the Force be with you.